Okay, let's see how long it takes for me to get a 20. 15. 13. Soon. 15 again. 20. I got it. I got it. And that wasn't edited. Let's start the show. I did a little browsing before we started the interview, but I actually have to work today. So we're here at Gamers Haven and we're talking with Del Rey, the owner. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. What inspired you to open such a unique store like this? I can't find anything like it in the Springs.
We originally opened to create a safe space, a haven. The name was intentional for gamers, and we wanted to cater to a wide variety of interests. So we tried to carry a little bit of everything.
Okay. How long have you all been in business?
We've been in business for 25 years. This is our third location.
Wow, third location, 25 years. That means this place is pretty successful.
We've had to size up a couple times because the community just keeps growing and growing, and we're happy to be a part of it.
I love that. And you can find a little bit of everything in here. I've grabbed Star Wars, I've grabbed Dungeons and Dragons, and of course, Django, one of my favorite games. What is your personal favorite game to play in this building?
My favorite game would probably be Red Dragon Inn.
Okay.
It's a game where you're a bunch of adventurers, and after your latest adventure, you go to the nearby inn, and you're trying to be the last adventurer left, and you're trying to get everyone else kicked out. So
That sounds like a lot of fun. But also in that side room over there, you all are doing tournaments for Dungeons and Dragons, correct?
Dungeons and Dragons, not as much sometimes, but we do a lot of Magic tournaments, Pokemon, Star Wars Unlimited, and we also have a lot of tactical miniature games like Warhammer. So if you've heard of that, you just take little miniature men and you paint them up, and then you march them across the field to battle each other.
Okay. And also earlier we were speaking and you said that schools and other organizations can come in here and have game nights?
Yes, in the past we've had partnerships with the Boy Scouts of America to help them achieve their badges. Coming up soon in a few weeks, we will have a preschool in here. We're going to host a game night for them. We also do outreach at the high schools and middle schools and whatnot, where we go to them and teach them games, but also talk to the teachers and the parents about how gaming helps with a lot of social and developmental skills.
Your store has been around for over 15 years, about 20 years, like you said earlier. How has gaming evolved in the past decade or two?
Well, it's evolved in a couple different directions. Initially, all of it was the family game night games, and people who played anything other than like Monopoly or Stratego or any of those kind of things were thought to be kind of fringy. But gaming has become a lot more mainstream between both video gaming and board gaming. We here focus on board games, of course, but it's also more inclusive. So you see a lot more representation in terms of the games that we have on the shelves, their subject matter, and it's a lot more diverse because initially games were all about things like, like I said, Monopoly, Stratego, that kind of thing. But now we have games for little tiny kids to play. We've got games for older people. They're games that just cover a lot of things, and originally there was a lot less of that.
Now, Dungeons and Dragons is huge in our office. Is there anything new that we should be looking out for?
Well, Dungeons and Dragons in 2024 celebrated its 50th anniversary, and as a part of that, they've re-released their 5th edition books with an updated, remastered, and more streamlined system. So they've already released the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, and the Monster Manual, and there are new adventures and supplements to come to help with that.
When I was walking around, I noticed that there was a painting section. What was that all about?
So with tactical miniature games and with a lot of games in general, like Dungeons and Dragons and things like that, there are miniatures that you can get to represent your character or your army that you're playing. And what you can do is with those paints, you can paint them to whatever color scheme you like. And there are, of course, color schemes that fit in with the lore, depending on what system you're playing. But we do have a large hobby community where they will customize their miniatures. They might swap out parts and things like that. And we're here to support that by providing them the tools and the resources they need to be able to do that.
One of my favorite features about this place is in that room, there's a bunch of games on the wall and that you can almost test out, kind of like Blockbuster style, where you rent something, you put it back, but here you can actually test out a board game. Is that true?
Yes, so we use the board game library for a couple of things. One, for people who want to learn about a game before they buy it, we'll go over there and pull it from the shelf so they can look through the contents and the instructions, things like that. But the other thing that we use it for is, like you said, people will come in on their free time, pull a game off the shelf, sit down over in the game room, and then just give it a shot and play it. And if they like it, then hopefully we have a copy they can pick up. And if not, if they just want to try things out, that's completely fine. We like to provide a space for gamers to game.
All of that information is just so wonderful. Do you have any games that we can try out? I know there's millions in here, it feels like.
We have a lot of games set up on the demo tables. There's a game up here called Cluster. It's quick, it's easy and engaging, and it is a lot of fun. So here we have Cluster. This game is 1 to 4 players. They do make a 2-player version, but that's not what this one is. You have a string here, and you have a handful of magnets. Now, if you have multiple players, you want everyone to have the same number of magnets. And your goal is to be the first one to get rid of all of your magnets. The way you do that is by placing them within the circle. And as you place them, if you need more space, you can move the string. But if they click together, you have to pick them up, and that's the end of your turn.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and go first. There we go. So.
Do they have to be by each other?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope, I'm just making your life difficult.
This is such an interesting game.
Yeah. And the more people you have, the more chaotic it gets.
Oh,
usually.
no. So what if mine connects to yours?
Doesn't matter. If they click together, you pick up everything that clicks. You want to run out of magnets first, but you're trying to force the other player into a situation where they have to pick some up.
Okay.
So I'm intentionally leaving very small spaces for him. We might actually get through this one.
Oh. So
So you would pick both of those up. Yep.
Oh, man.
And then I would win.
Oh, I like this. This is fun. It's strategic.
Yeah. And like I said, you can move the string, makes it smaller,
Yeah.
or more. Well, this is tighter, so now it just creates problems for everybody.
I like that. This is fun. Well, thank you so much for your time and for showing us around your wonderful store. For everyone that's watching at home, how can they follow you on social media, and where exactly are you located?
We are at 5681 North Academy Boulevard, and our website is gamershavenco.com, and our Facebook is also gamershavenco for Colorado.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to challenge somebody in Jenga, and I'll see you all next time. Hello, Southern Colorado, and welcome to Southern Colorado Life. I'm your host, Ryan Nelson, and today we have a special guest who is from right here in Castle Rock, Colorado. She goes by the name of Victoria Hernandez. How are you today?
Hi, Ryan. I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Now, I know that you're a great journalist and content creator, but how did you get your start?
Yeah, since I was little, I read the newspaper and just always loved writing. And then I went to college for journalism and sport administration at the University of Miami, the U. And yeah, I just jumped in right away. There was an internship freshman year there was a website covering youth football, which South Florida is a hotbed for the
Sure
website's
is.
literally called Football Hotbed. So yeah, that's really how I got my start. And then I got to cover the Miami Hurricanes men's basketball team and the football team, and it kind of just all, since then I've covered music and fashion, so it's been a journey. But,
Right. You went from sports to music to fashion. Was it hard making that transition?
Not really, because honestly, they're all things that I love. Sports was definitely my first love, but I grew up loving music. My dad was in a band before I was born, and I went to concerts when I was a kid. Some people have to wait till but I grew up going to concerts, and my mom's very into fashion, so these were all things that intersected naturally for me anyway. And so yeah, for me, sometimes it's been hard to box them, because for me, they all intersect naturally, but I'm grateful to work in all of them.
Right, and you have such a unique journey. You were at USA Today, you were at the LA Times, and now you have your own publication that's sitting right in front of us. It's called Kick the Concrete. What was the inspiration behind this?
Yeah, Kick the Concrete originally started in 2017. It was meant as a platform for music artists to share their personal stories, and it's always had a mission to uplift and inspire and motivate people. And then I shelved it in 2020. I think just the pandemic there was a lot just loss of momentum, and we had a magazine release party in like January of 2020, and then it just all kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
So, but then it always just was in the back of my mind to have my own platform, even as I worked for different publications. And it'll be a year ago, actually, in April, that I left USA Today and just kind of took a leap of faith to relaunch it. And now it's not just music, but we do sports and fashion and just the intersection and storytelling behind all of those.
Right. Wow, that's huge. Someone from right here in Colorado working for the USA Today and working for LA Times and now having your own publication is huge. So congratulations on that. What has been one of your favorite stories that you've covered for Kick the Concrete?
Oh, there's a lot. Recently, I was in New Orleans covering Super Bowl events, and something that I'm really thankful Kick the Concrete, we can cover kind of local and beneath the radar stories. And I was just walking in the mall. I was kind of like just feeling down on myself, and this kiosk had t-shirts that just said "Believe," and I was like, oh, that's really inspiring. Like, it made my day. And then I kind of turned around and I went and interviewed. His name's Coach Steve, and he has these Believe t-shirts. So we did a little Q&A on Kick the Concrete, and I was like, that's what the heart of it. We do stories on bigger artists and different things, but I was just really excited to put him on a platform, and it was something that inspired me, and I hope inspires other people.
Of course, of course. So for anyone who's watching at home right now and they want to check out your magazine, how can they do that?
Yeah, we're online, kicktheconcrete.com. All one word, all social media platforms, Kick the Concrete. And yeah, we do have magazines. We're building up for our next one. These first two were kind of iterations of when it was music.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have different products coming, and we have a monthly email newsletter they can sign up for on the website, and that's where you can find us.
Okay. And is there anything coming up for you that we all should know about, or any other writing that you're doing?
I also write for Urban Pitch. It's a soccer website that really has a similar mission of Kick the Concrete to the intersection of sports and culture. And I just personally love so many sports and so many facets that I wanted to have my own thing. But I'm working on a story about a new USL team that's really exciting. And Little Sim's new album is coming out in May. So we try to do like artists that have different soccer ties. So hopefully we'll do something on that, and just, yeah, that's another place that's fun to work for.
Oh, that's fun. Will we see Central C on Urban Pitch?
Yeah, I already reviewed Can't Rush Greatness, so that was fun to kind of, it doesn't have to be super soccer tied, like it's just naturally he's a
big Chelsea fan.
Yes.
He's just super popular worldwide.
Yeah. So, but we definitely touched on how Chelsea, when he revealed the track list, they reposted it, and we're like, can't wait. And I love London. Like, I tried to weave in little references. Like, he references Nando's on Gata. I was like, I love Nando's.
Yeah.
So different things like that are fun.
Okay. And since you cover athletes and fashion, who are your top 3 favorite athletes that dress well before we get out of here?
I think Tyrod Taylor is definitely one of my favorites. Like, I think he just has a very effortless style. His stylist is Dex Robinson. And they also have this brand called Diallo together, and it's just sporty but cool and effortless. I like Tyrod Taylor a lot. Then there's...
You can give me 2 more.
2, I know. There's just so many. I really like Charles O'Menahu. He kind of has a rock star look. And shout out Chad Johnson. And he's a designer, not Chad Ochocinco. But he helps him with some of his looks and just like elevates this rock star style. And then I really like Paige Beckers. I feel like she just has, again, this effortlessly cool style. But yeah, I mean, I'll throw a fourth, but like Asia Wilson, you have to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about her and
Her shoes are
the
are
A1.
great, yeah.
Like I love the pearlized
Mhm.
one. I'm excited for that one to drop.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't say
yeah.
Shay.
See, I like Shay. I do like Shay. But I feel like NBA, like I like Damian Lillard. I feel like he has kind of just like a cool style.
He's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many
That's
that
good
you
to know.
can just.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming. Kick the Concrete. You can order it online. Visit the website. Thank you. We appreciate this.
Thank you so much.
Highlighting the best in our area. Southern Colorado Life with Ryan Nelson.